the science of New Year's resolutions. Now is kind of a good time to look at this. 2017 coming to a close, 2018 opening up. Maybe you're looking at this in the future, but let's go ahead and dive into the science of if you should make resolutions, what they should look like, and what you can do to make them successful. Welcome in, much love, Trav here. So, caveat, my sources on this, I just spent 2 hours this week in my Game Shape and Mastermind call going through, Googling the science on resolutions and commitments and accountability and all this stuff, and got some really good information. However, when I went and checked the sources of a lot of these media articles like Washington Post, Huffington Post, etc., a lot of them were just citing back to other articles, similar articles. So ideally, you're actually looking at the abstract, actually looking at the studies. Presumably someone at some point did that, but I don't know for sure. For all this stuff, I didn't look at it. I didn't go through all of this, so take that with a grain of salt. Most of this is probably pretty accurate, but there's some room for interpretation as well. Okay, so some data. For something like 50% of people make New Year's resolutions, something like only 10% of people succeed. So you know that most people fail, most people don't change. However, it seems as though of the 50% of people who do not make New Year's resolutions, only 1% succeed in making major change in their lives. Therefore, 10%, not very good odds, a lot better than 1%. So it seems to be worth making a New Year's resolution regardless. Okay? That's what I saw from that. So how do we increase the odds of success? What's more likely to happen? The first thing, and this one's definitely true and clear, is you want to make your goals whatever you're choosing, you want it to be very specific. You want to have a time that it's happening, a specific daily action that's happening, and ideally a clear why as well. For instance, I want to lose weight is not a very effective New Year's resolution because it doesn't tell you what to do. I want to do 15 push-ups in the morning between waking up and taking a shower and going to work is a good resolution because it's specific, it has a time, it has a place, it has an action. So you have a good chance of doing it. You should also have a why. If it's not really important, it's not going to happen. If it's very important, you can find a good reason to do it, it will happen. So you should focus on focusing on a habit change, not an abstract goal. That's true. You should also ideally pick only one thing because just too many things is going to reduce the odds. And also, when you pick the one thing, you should work on it for a couple months. You don't have to work on it for the whole year, but depending on the habit, and it depends, it generally takes longer to reach automaticity or automatic behavior than most people think. The median is 66 days, depends on the difficulty of the task. If you really want to lock it in, you should count down to 66. So one thing, very specific, good reason for 2 months, and then you can move on to the next thing. So you also don't need to make New Year's resolutions. You can make resolutions every 2 months if you want, and you can track this. Okay, next. This is interesting. So does announcing your resolution, your goal, increase or decrease your odds of accomplishing it? I'm getting some mixed information on this. I've seen some information that says that actually, if you announce your goals, that you're less likely to do anything because just talking about it kind of satisfies that part of the brain. The brain thinks you've actually done something. Tell everybody, I'm gonna quit smoking cigarettes. Your friend's like, wow, incredible. You know, you feel good already. So it makes it less likely that you're actually gonna follow through on it. That's a little bit of mixed info though, because it seems like it's very contextual. It depends on the relationship with the person you have and depends on your relationship with yourself. So for example, there's also research that says if you commit to a goal with someone else as an accountability partner who's going to follow up with you, and you're going to report results that at 2 or 3x's your likelihood. So if you're just making a public Facebook post saying I'm going to do this, not that effective. But if you have a partner, you have a good friend, you have a workout buddy, or you have a private coach, and you say, this is my goal, I want you to help me, hold me accountable to this. We're going to check in once a week and see how it's going. That will actually really increase your goal, or your odds. According to the data, according to these studies, or these articles that supposedly have these studies. And I think that depends on personality as well. For some people, it's more important to follow through on actions than others. And also, we tend to care more about people who are close to us than kind of the general public. So I think it kind of depends who you tell it to, but skew towards keeping your goals more private and working on it for you. You don't need to announce that you're going to do it. You can tell people when it's done, right? So those, from what I've seen, that's the really important stuff to increasing your odds. Be really specific about the goal. Pick just one thing. Give it a where, when, how, and a why. Make it action-based, not abstract. Pick just one, stick with it for 2 months. And if you're gonna share it, just with a couple people, maybe with the private group at the biggest, but keep it a little bit quiet. Once it's done, you can tell people you did it, or you don't necessarily have to. So hope you find that useful. Again, encourage you to make a resolution, just because the odds aren't necessarily great that you will stick with it on raw numbers, but you have better odds of actually accomplishing something by setting out and trying than not trying at all. So let me know what you think. Much love. Appreciate you all. And let me know what your resolution is. Mine, the main thing is, well, there's certain themes, there's certain goals. My life's in a bit of flux right now, but the main thing is I'm breaking a little bit of a rule by doing 3 things that are all tied together, because I'm taking my game shape training very seriously. I'm headed back to this gym. I want to do a new movement every day. That could just be like a weird funky dance move, but I just want to move away from repetitive injury. I want to do some sort of resistance training every day, although I'm moving away from specific there because I don't want repetitive injury, which is, I've gotten a lot of that in my life doing the same things over and over. And I also, the third part of that is break a sweat every day. That should be easy, especially in Hawaii, but these things generally get done anyways. The specifics of it, this stuff usually will happen in the morning. It will often happen in my break between 1 and 3. It will happen where this picture is for the most part. And if it doesn't get done, then I'll do 10 push-ups before I go to sleep. Or I will say as well that if I don't break a sweat by 9 p.m., I'm not going to break a sweat that day. But that should happen automatically with the heat and the type of work I'm going to be doing. Also, if you made it all the way to the end, one other thing that's important: don't quit if it's hard or if you fail a bit. Readjust the goal and keep trying. So that's a big thing as well. So if this doesn't work for me, it's too many things, then I'm going to readjust it and change it. I'm not going to give up on it, remember. And there's other things that I want to do too. I have goals for the year. That's different from resolutions. My resolution is to take my movement seriously in this year, more seriously than I have this year. So let me know what you're doing. Appreciate you all, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Peace.